Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Hey, Amber. How's it going? I had set up my schedule. I did really good. Like this 5 o'clock, I was like, all right, let me go ahead and schedule my live. Right. Then I navigated away from YouTube, and that was where I made the mistake, y'all. It's like I'm just spending the last 5 minutes going, how do I get to my video? I finally figured it out. How are you doing tonight, Amber? And everybody else, how are you? Let me know in comments how you doing. I have put out a video on TikTok inviting people out to see Witchy Wednesday. So if you're from TikTok, let me know that, hey, I've seen you there. If you are one of my usuals, hi, my lovely. Today, what are we doing today? Today is our Witchy Wednesday, and I wanted to talk about spell work and specifically the elements in a spell, because I've seen a lot of not misinformation, but just not enough information talking about very specific elements in a spell and what works, what to do when you don't have an element, what are these elements and why do they work the way they do. So that's what I figured we'd talk about today. So if you've got any questions, pop it in chat. If you add to it, like something on this subject, please add to it. I am by no means the end-all be-all of information for this, and I could be quite honestly saying something wrong, and if I do, I apologize. Let me know. Correct me so I can learn, okay? All right. Oh. Ooh, Ember. That's a good thing. That's so. All you have is the hiccups. You have the hiccups. Is it from the vaccine? That'd be funny if that was the side effect that you got from the vaccine was hiccups. I love it. I love it. Well, the spell that we are going to specifically look at is in this book. You see that I have quite a few books here, and the reason why I have quite a few books here is because I want you to see all the different spells that they have and what are the different elements, because there are elements that are in common in most spells, and then there are things that make the spell what it is. So first, before we get started though, what's a spell? For people that are not witches, the best way to explain this is that if you think about, and I'm going to catch slack for this because I know my sister gets mad at me every time I say it. Imagine it's a prayer, okay? Spell work is an intention, a thought, a vocalization of what you would like help with. And notice I say help with, because in witchcraft, at least in my practice, we ask to empower ourselves. We don't ask for something to be given to us, but we ask for it to be empowering of ourselves so that way we may attain it. For instance, if I'm wanting money, I'm going to say, make me a money magnet. Make me a money magnet so that way whatever I'm doing will attract money, right? So a spell is often just this little incantation, little ritual that manifests something, some type of desire, all right? I say it's a lot like prayer because we often light candles, just like Catholics do for when they're praying for someone to be healed, and when they're praying to a saint, they often light candles. So it's very similar and different at the same time. Trying not to be offensive there. It's very similar in practices. I know there's a difference, but for just basics, that's it. Oh my gosh, Chad, you're here. Lori, how are you? How are you doing? And let's see what Chad's saying. Hey, kiddo. It has been okay. This Odin's Day has been okay. Oh, let's see. Well, as long as the hiccups went away after like an hour. Oh, okay, well that's good. You only had hiccups for an hour. I hate getting hiccups and they just hurt. Like they last forever and they hurt. All right. All right. So the first spell that we are going to look at actually came from a book that my husband bought me, I believe for Yule, like 2 years ago. It is the Daily Spell Journal, and I thought it was the cutest little book. Has little gold leaves. I'm a book fan. Like I like the way books look. I also like the way they smell. I will spare you that one. But what I liked about this is that this is 365 days worth of spells. So every day you legitimately can open it up and go, oh, today's May 11th. So on May 11th, we have a wild weather water for spell work. Okay, so we are going to look at this, and we're going to look at specifically tomorrow's. I'm going to go over tomorrow's spell with you quite a bit. But for this spell, it requires a bowl, glass bottles in a variety of colors. All right, and I'm gonna read off what it tells you to do, and then we're going to get into the specifics of it. Okay. All right. May is full of wet and wild meteorological phenomena. Take advantage of this and gather some rainwater to use in different types of spell work. Place your bowl outside after the rain begins and store the rainwater in one of your bottles. For spells related to personal empowerment, use water gathered during a windstorm and store in a gold or purple bottle. If you want to use water in a working for healing, collect it during a sun shower and keep it in the blue bottle. For love magic, collect rainwater shaken off rose bushes and put it in pink or red bottles. If there is massive thunder and lightning, store this water in a white bottle so you can use it in spells to re-energize yourself for cleansing and purification. So this spell in particularly is just kind of not even a full spell. This spell is just the gathering of an element. All right. Let's talk about this element. The element is water, right? You've noticed that in that it had a lot to do with empowering you and purifying you, because that's what water does. Water, if we ingest it, makes us stronger because we're hydrated, right? We can get stuff done, because when you're dehydrated, you lose energy. So water hydrates you, water empowers you. Water also cleanses you physically, right? Physically, we can take water and we can cleanse ourselves. Same thing spiritually as well. The water will cleanse you, right? Why do we have different colored bottles? Why do we have different times? That gets a little complicated, and that's what we're talking about now, okay? Each element, each tool that you gather, the more you practice, the more you understand that the gathering of that element is much like the gathering of some type of fruit. You don't want to gather it when it's not ripe, and you want it at its peak, right? So for water, depending on what we want it to do, depends on when's the appropriate time to get it. All right. Let's see. I'm looking over chat real quick. Chad, you're cooking dinner. Look, what you cooking? It's Fibromyalgia Awareness Day. I did not know that. My mama has fibromyalgia. I need to tell her. Thank you, Lori. She has painful flares. For those of you watching, fibromyalgia, horrible disease. Horrible disease. It's a painful disease. It's a disease that's not known very well. And they also call it an invisible disease because the people that have it, you wouldn't know are sick. So if somebody tells you they have fibromyalgia and they tell you they can't do something because of it, believe them, all right? My mom is one of the strongest people I know, all right? The woman had breast cancer, was working as a cafeteria worker at a middle school. She'd get her radiation treatment, and then she'd go to work. Oh my God. Oh my God. Right? Fibromyalgia took my mom out of the workforce, completely out of the workforce. She was in too much pain to work. That tells you how bad fibromyalgia is. The woman could work through radiation treatment, but she could not work through a fibromyalgia flare. So if you have somebody that has fibromyalgia, take care of them, okay? Take care of them. All right, so the water, let's go back to the water. I get so sidetracked by you guys, like, oh, let's talk about that. That's cool. I'm in it. Right? You guys, you're as bad as my kids in school. My kids in school know they can do that to me. All right, water. So we were talking about the perfect times for water, and you noticed in here they had water during a sunshine, like in the South, and I've heard some Southerners don't say this, but there is an old saying. It's a horrible saying. Horrible saying. Horrible. Found out where it came from, but it's a horrible saying. When it's raining and the sun is out, the old Southern saying is the devil's beating his wife with a frying pan. Why with a frying pan? I don't know, but that's the saying. But when the rain is out and when the sun is out and it's raining, for witchcraft, that's a happy energy. You think of the sun as rejuvenating, okay? That's why citrine is really good for healing. It's a sunstone. So when you gather water during a sun rainstorm, it's healing waters. If you've gathered water during a lightning storm, that is some really powerful, energetic, I call it chaos energy, because lightning, you never know where it's going to strike. I use chaos water, and I do have a name for it. I call it chaos water. I use chaos water for things that I need a little bit more oomph. I need a little bit more power added to a spell, so I'll add some chaos water. I've also collected water that happened during a full moon. It was raining during a full moon, so I have moon rainwater. That is some beautiful, beautiful water to do spell work with. All these times have different associations. Now, each practice will have a different association with times. Each practice might have a different association with colors, right? How do you find that association? Research and find out what feels good to you. Research and find out what's good to you. Now, there is a lot of debate on open and closed practices. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on this. Like it, lump it, I don't care. Okay? To be honest, you do you, boo, right? That's why I'm a witch. You get to do you. I myself do not feel comfortable practicing a magic that does not have my heritage in it. Okay? If I can't call upon my ancestors and my ancestors know what I'm talking about, then I don't have their help. And I need their help. I need their help sometimes. So I want to make sure that the magic that I am putting together, the craft that I'm putting together, is something that is recognizable to my ancestors. So that is why I don't practice things that I don't have in my ancestry. You know, there are things that I would like to practice, and I wonder if I have the right to, but because it's a wonder, I don't. Again, that's all up to you. You get to do whatever you want to do. For me, it is only right to only practice things that my ancestors would have known. Okay? So when we're talking about open and closed practices, that's the deal. Now, what constitutes a closed practice? In the witch world, the rule of thumb is if you have to be initiated into the practice, that is a closed practice. So like even Gardnerian Wicca is considered a closed practice. You have to be initiated into it. I like how the collection of plants in your workroom keeps growing. Yes, my little collection keeps growing. I have plants that I keep kind of bringing from outside and putting them in. So we've got quite a bit of stuff going on here. All right. The spell that I really wanted us to concentrate on is for May 12th. It's for tomorrow. All right. And I wanted to concentrate on tomorrow's spell. So in case you wanted to do this. Now, not all of you have children. This is a mother and child spell. Not all of you have children. And this is a good example of how you can take a spell not intended for your specific situation and turn it into something that is for your specific situation. So for this spell, it asks for an orange candle, 2 rose quartz stones, and a white lily in a pot. Okay. I have the 2 rose quartz stones. Okay. I have the 2 rose quartz stones. I have an orange, right? Yep. I have an orange candle. All right. But I do not have a lily. I do not have a lily. So let's read the spell and find out why. Why do I need the lily? And then let's see if we can find a replacement for it. Okay. Do the spell to strengthen the bond between parent and child. If your mother is deceased, the spell can help you reconnect with her in your dreams. Light the candle and hold the 2 stones together in your hands. Think for a moment about the love between yourself and your mother. Or if you're the parent, consider the love between yourself and your child. Say, love and joy, hopes and smiles, connecting us across the miles. Distance does nothing to keep us apart. Mother and child joined at heart. Press the rose quartz stone side by side into the soil in the lily pot and place it in a sunny window as a reminder of the ever-growing love shared between mother and child. Okay, so I am a mom. I can do this pretty much exactly as it's written. Okay, the problem is I don't have a white lily. So let's talk about all these elements. Rose quartz. Rose quartz is a stone that promotes friendship feelings. It promotes feelings of, not familial, but of just kindness, compassion, right? It is called the friendship stone. So rose quartz is this relationship, right? This mutually fond relationship. That's what this is for. Orange candle, all right? Orange candle is used, the color orange is used to symbolize the bond, all right? It is used to symbolize the connection. Orange is often connection. Sunshine can be yellow or orange. Orange is also happiness, all right? Lori, I'm glad you're back. Good. I'm late. I was watching. Oh, no, you don't have to apologize, Erebeth, for watching Good Omens. Good Omens is good, right? It's one of my favorite. Now, it is one of my favorite Neil Gaiman stories. However, it is very, very obvious when the writer switches inside that story. So, isn't it Terry Pratchett? Oh my gosh, is it Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman wrote that, I believe? I always just attribute it to Neil Gaiman because he's my favorite, but I believe it was Terry Pratchett. But it's very obvious when you read it and you're like, oh, there's Neil's. Oh, there's the other one. Yeah, Terry Pratchett. Yep. Didn't Terry, was it? No, Alan Moore called him Scary Pants. That's what, Scary Trousers. That's what it was. I only slightly stalk Neil Gaiman. You have a favorite author. I'm sorry. Oh, good, Chad. You need to balance that out. But let's go back to this real quick because we only have so much time. This right here, happiness, bond, fire. Fire, you know, you have a fire in order to how do I explain this? When you heat something up, like food, all the flavors kind of conjoin together, right? That's kind of what you're doing with this. You're kind of fire kind of makes everything conjoin together. So that's what this is for. Then the white lily. So I had to look up what a white lily symbolizes. And white lilies are given at weddings, at births, and at funerals. Why? They symbolize rebirth. They symbolize the fragility. They symbolize relationships as well. They symbolize the love relationship. So I was like, okay, what can I use in its place? And this is what we have to do sometimes. Sometimes when we're working on a spell, we're like, all right, I don't have that. What do I have that can be in place of that? So what do I have that I can use in place of a white lily? I have rose petals. I have rose petals. So I have rose petals and I have a spider plant. Why do I need both? Well, the whole deal with the white lily was that it represents this love and it is planted. So that way when you put the stones on the plant, you're encouraging the plant to grow, but you're also encouraging that relationship to grow. So I needed a plant that could grow, all right? I have plenty to choose from. I have plenty to choose from. Which one am I choosing? I am actually going to choose my little spider plant back here. All right, I'm choosing my little spider plant. What am I going to do? Well, I will light that candle. I will hold the stones like it told me to, right? Like I'll hold them together. I'll say the words. And then I will take my rose petals, which symbolize love, and I will put it on my spider plant along with my crystals. Spell done. Spell's done. I didn't have all the elements, but it's okay. You had elements that were close enough, right? And this is what goes back to having ancestral help. There are times where you don't have just the right elements. You need your ancestors to know enough about your practice so that way they can help you out. You can borrow some of their energy to go into this spell. You know, yes, I don't have a white lily. I've got a spider plant and some rose petals. Will this work? And your ancestors are like, heck yeah, I got you. Okay. Let's see. I have another. Oh, you said that. Is it pronounced Air? Air, the healer goddess, visited. That's very cool. It's funny that you said dreamscape, Chad, because I have had an issue where my dreamscape has disappeared for the last couple of months. Like, I'm a vivid dreamer, and it's gone. Like, all of it is gone. I don't remember my dreams now. I'm obviously dreaming because my husband says that my talking and my sleep has returned, and I only do that when I'm stressed, and I am stressed. But my dreamscape is completely gone. Oh, I'm saying it right. Okay. Here. So let's talk about the different books also, because I told you that each time you look in a spell book, you're going to have similar and you're going to have different elements. All right. Candles. Pretty much every spell that I have ever looked at has some type of fire element. All right. If you don't have an orange candle, a white one would work. A white one will work. You don't have to have all the colored candles. My God, our ancestors did not. They didn't have these colored candles, right? I seriously doubt a witch from the 1500s was like, "Where's my yellow candle?" I don't know why I said it like that. I just did. Probably because Serafina's from the 1500s, and that's her voice. Yeah. Anyways, so you can use a white candle, right? It's intentions. Intentions is the biggest part of spell work. What are your intentions, right? So if you don't have an orange candle, no fear. You can use a white one. You can even use, like I said before, birthday candles. What? So you can use that. If you look into different books, and this was my very first one, the Spells Bible by Anne Marie Gallagher. If you look in here, there are some candle wax spell to banish unhealthy habits. What are they using? They're using a brown candle. Brown candle and an iron nail. Okay. They are also using incense. Now, I can't use incense. I'm asthmatic. My husband's asthmatic. And when my son lived here, he was asthmatic. So when things call for smoke cleansing, we often use water. I have, oh, did my water? I didn't bring it out. I used water that I've collected, moon water. I also use this. This right here is just crushed eggshells. I will use this to purify space. All right. The other thing that I use to purify space, again, I use water. I spritz water. But this right here had a little bit of sage, ground sage mixed into it. So now I have sage water cleaning my area. This is regular kitchen sage. This isn't any particular special sage. It's the sage you can get from any grocery store, all right? And I use that. These will have elements that you absolutely don't have. What is one of them? Frankincense. One stick of frankincense. It's really hard to come across frankincense. That's a resin. What can you use in place of frankincense? Well, rosemary. Seriously. Rosemary counts for pretty much anything. You can use rosemary in the place of any herb. All right. Here's one that requires a pliable whip of willow. Don't have it. Don't have it. Won't ever have it. I don't even know what that is. I don't know, right? My whole point is that in each one of your spells, there's going to be something that you don't have. And like I told you earlier when we were figuring out this one, I just had to figure out what was the willow plant, what was the lily plant used for? What was its purpose? What was its intention? Why did you place the energy there? And then find workarounds for you. Okay? Easy other magical elements. Eye makeup remover. Moisturizing cream. And an essential oil roll-on. These have all been charged by moonlight. This has been charged in the sun as well. I charge elements like this. If you've ever heard something called glamour spells, and I'll probably do a Witchy Wednesday on these. Glamour spells are basically beauty spells. They're spells that you do to empower yourself, to make others see you in a certain way. So I use these very ordinary store-bought elements, and I charge them in certain ways to get them to react the way I want them to. I wanted them to make me powerful, because one of the things that I work with my shadow work is feeling worthy, feeling good enough. So a lot of my spell work is around this positive reaffirmation of self. So my tools look like this, right? These are my tools. Now, do you need this exact brand? No. No. Say you use oil of Olay. Okay. Charge it. Charge it with empowerment, right? How do you charge it? Put it in the moonlight. Say, you are going to make me feel powerful. It's that simple, guys. It really is. Spellcraft isn't that hard. It's about getting the right words and using the tools that you have available to you in the right way. Okay? What is your dreamscape doing, Chad? Chad puts up in chat. I don't even know what that. What is it? Zero? What is? I don't know how to say that. Chad? What kind of questions do you guys have in specific about the elements that are used in spellcraft? I've tried to answer most of what has been asked of me previously. Like, why do I choose certain elements? What if I don't have an element? What do I need to do? And we've gone over that. If you don't have an element, what is that element being used for? And find something in your own household that can be used as substitute for it, right? I've never thought of charging my beauty products. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I have taken a very long time to get to a point where I am okay with my looks, and I don't feel conceited by saying that. Was another thing that was, we've done a lot of damage to girls in particular. We don't have this with guys, but we do a lot of damage to young women when we tell them that you shouldn't be proud of like the way you look, because then that tells us that we're conceited and we're not supposed to feel good about the way we look. But then you tell us that we gotta feel good. It's a very confusing mixed message, all right, guys? Stop telling young women that they're conceited if they think they look good. Stop telling them that they're conceited if they're taking selfies too, all right? They're not conceited. They're trying to convince themselves that they do look good, all right? Yeah, substitutes are good, Lori. Like I said, any herb can be substituted with rosemary. You can use water in any substitution for cleansing. You can also use sound. So there are a couple of different sounds. So I have a jar full of keys, because I have a jar full of keys, and this is a clearing sound. Okay, you can use this to clear your space of negativity. So you can cleanse through sound. I know a few witches that'll take pots and pans and will bang their pots and pans in their house and tell the negative energy to get up on out of here, and not in so polite words. That's what they do. In the world tree in Norse mythology, I know it. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't say the word, Chad. No, it's okay, Ace. It is okay. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you are here. Yes, keys are aesthetically pleasing, but keys are also, I will say this, if you guys are seeing a lot of keys pop up, keys also signify that you're at a crossroad. It also signifies that there is a deity trying to make her appearance to you. Keys are said to be Hecates or Hecate, depending on who says it. It is her symbol. And when she is around, you have some deciding factors. You have some things to look at. You have a path to choose. So if you have keys popping up, and I have had keys popping up, you are at a crossroads. You are at a crossroads. So keys are aesthetically pleasing, but if you're finding keys, there's a reason. There's a definite reason. Yes, I love her too. And apparently she has been my guiding goddess for a very long time. I've never worked with deities. Like, it's not been my thing, because in my practice, I view gods and goddesses in a very different light. I view gods and goddesses as an energy source that, depending on the culture, we have named certain things. So in all the cultures, we have the same energy, but because of who we are as people, we've named them different. We've named that same energy a different name. For instance, Diana and Artemis, same kind of goddess, but they're just named different things. So in my understanding, it's just an energy. So when I'm working with energy, when I'm invoking energy, it depends on my mood, on who I'm going to put that name to. And I have found that oftentimes the name that I choose comes from my own background, cultural. So it's just, for me, it's just a kind of like it's just a name. It's just a name. It's about the energy and the respect of that energy. And in my understanding and the way I feel, it's not disrespectful for me to call that energy by a different name. It's the same energy. It's just, who do I come from? Who are my people? Who are my people? That's why I call it. Oh, wow, Zarabeth. So that, from my understanding of that pendant that you just described, that pendant is to help you point the way, to clear your path, to make decisions easy. That's kind of cool to have. Okay, to be fair, Roman stole a lot of crap. let's just call a spade, all right, y'all? There's a goddess named Nike. I'm done. Lori, what does she do? Zarabeth, that's a very cool thing. I did not know that there was a goddess named Nike. What is she? The goddess of running? So, I'm awful. I am horrible. I'm a horrible human being. Yeah. She's the goddess of victory. No wonder Nike chose it. Okay, now I get it. Now, I understand this now. I understand why Nike is named Nike. Thank you. Yeah, as far as witchcraft and spell work and everything goes, and like, there are people that will swear you have to do things a certain way. I have been practicing for 15, 16 years. I know it's been over 14 because I've been with my husband almost 15 years, and I started practicing before I met him. It's been about 20 then. Oi, I'm getting old. The thing that I have found is that, for me, like the spell that we were looking at for mother and child, say you don't have a mom or you don't have a child. Okay, well, this is a bonding spell. This is a spell that makes two people grow. You can change the words. You can change the words. As a matter of fact, you should change the words and Creating your own spell? Do you have to rhyme? No. Does it have to make sense to anybody but you? Kinda. You kind of need to be really clear. And that's the other thing with spell work. Things need to be very clear. Y'all, I have done a spell with a Hot Wheels car, okay? Because I wanted it to be very clear at what I wanted my friends to find, okay? And I wanted my friends to find a place that had parking. So I grabbed a Hot Wheels car. So that way the energy knew very specifically what I was looking for. A Hot Wheels car, guys. There's nothing magical about a Hot Wheels car until you make it, okay? So spells are you. Spells are what's important to you. It doesn't necessarily have to be orange equals happiness. If orange means something else to you, that's what's important. That's what is meaningful, is that you put meaning into this. This has no meaning until you do it, okay? So whatever you decide this hunk of wax to be, that's you, your power. The most important thing in spell work is for you to believe in your power, that this is going to do exactly what you told it to do. That's what's important, not the color, not the element. Does it all help? If you believe it helps, yes. If you believe it helps. One of the things that I remember being told, okay, so where I grew up in a very diverse town in South Florida. I grew up in a migrant farm town that was also a Seminole reservation. In our town, we had Mexican, Guatemalan, Haitian, and Seminole Indians. Sorry, the Seminole tribe. That was a bad word. I shouldn't have said that way. Seminole tribe. Growing up, I was a terrified little kid, y'all. I swear, I think it had to do with me being raised Catholic, because everything frightened me. I remember washing my own mouth. That's another story. I got to tell y'all that one later. That was another story. Anyway, but I grew up knowing about voodoo. And I knew that there were people in town that practiced voodoo. And it terrified me because I didn't understand it, right? I'm a kid, right? And all of a sudden I see things like The Serpent and the Rainbow was popular when I was a kid. And I couldn't watch it. I wasn't allowed to watch it, but I knew it was scary, right? And I knew it had to do with voodoo. So, it terrified me. And I remember an old Haitian woman looking at me and telling me, "Child, it will only hurt you if you believe it'll hurt you. If you don't believe it'll hurt you, it can't." And that stuck with me. That made me feel so much better about being able to live my life. I don't believe in it. I believe in it. But, of course, my over-analytical brain is in the backside of me going, yeah, but you believe that you don't believe, and that's a belief, so they're going to get you. Now, of course, I understand voodoo is nothing to be scared of at all. It is a very beautiful practice. It's a celebration of life and death. It's just, I was a terrified kid. But the whole meaning of it is, if you have some type of intention in it, then it works. It works. You don't need a reason why. It just does. I have done stuff with things that shouldn't have worked, like a Hot Wheels car. It worked. Okay. Sometimes a spell is simply of, I am not doing that crap today. I am not doing that crap today. I am not doing that crap today. Not mine. Not mine. That's it. So that way you push that energy away from you, like, that is not my energy today. Not happening. Okay? Spells aren't that hard. The substitutions can be whatever you want them to be. It just needs to have meaning for you. It really needs to have meaning for you. And like I was saying earlier, it needs to be recognizable by the universe and by your ancestors, right? If it's recognizable to the universe and your ancestors and you've been very specific, then your manifestations will come to you faster. We will get in next week about universe time. Maybe next week. I don't know. That's a large topic. Universal time is a large topic. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. I've spent a lot of my life being told that I was weird and I was the oddball. And I have just recently, I would say within the last 2 years, come to terms with that's okay. It is okay. It is actually really good that I don't think like everybody else, because some of my ideas work. Some of my ideas work because they're not being looked at, right? So I don't mind being weird, and I don't mind having this very unusual outlook. And I am very, very proud to say it's because of how I was raised and the diversity in which I was raised. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, living here in the South, and specifically where I live in the South, oh, yeah. Sometimes it's a little hard. But since, we seem to be coming to an end to this, I don't think I have missed anything. I did miss something. I absolutely did miss something. All right. This is the other thing. Make sure I hold it to where you can see it. Okay. It's a piece of wood. Piece of wood that I painted and put resin on. And I've got a little resin crystal thing there, right? This right here wards off negative energy for me. Well, how does it do that? Because I believe it does. And because I buried it in salt, and because I continue to bury it in salt from time to time, because I take it to the beach and I run it through the water and allow all the negativity that it collected to go away. It is an object that I programmed. I programmed this object to take negative energy. If I'm going to have a really rough day and I know it, I'll wear this. I'll wear this. I will also put this in my purse. We already talked about this. This is an essential oil. This was just charged with pure happiness. Set it out in the sun, remember? I wanted it to get in all of the vibrant rays that make me feel good, make me feel warm, make me feel loved, remind me of beach days, all those things that make me happy. I programmed for this to hold all my happiness for me. So that way when I need a little bit of extra happiness, it's just grapefruit oil, but it makes me happy. It makes me remember those things. And this is the other thing about witchcraft that I love so much. Does this really make me happy? Is this thing the thing that makes me happy? No. No, this isn't the thing that makes me happy. What makes me happy is that when I pick up this thing, I remember the programming that I did to it. I remember the sun. I remember beach days. I smell grapefruit, and it reminds me of being a kid in the orange orchards, being in the back of the pickup trucks, eating fresh oranges. That's what this reminds me of. So it's not the thing. It's what I did to it that makes me happy. And that's what you need to remember with spell work. It's not the thing. It's what you put into it that makes you happy. All right? And we've got so much other stuff to cover and so many other things and more questions. If you got me a question, make sure you send the comment to this video so that way next week I can answer it. Okay? Put a comment below. Do me a favor, like the video. Like the video if you can. Oh, I see 2 people. Like the video. If you're not subscribed, subscribe for me. Okay? Until next week, my lovelies, I want you to remember, be happy, be safe. You are the power behind things. Okay? You are always the power behind things. Do not let anyone take away your power, and don't you dare forget your power. All right, my lovelies? All right. I am looking for my mouse so I can, like, get out of the feed, right? Be happy, be safe, know that I love you, and I will see you next Tuesday for Tarot Tuesday, and we will deal with the not so nice cards next week. All right, my lovelies.